Young world-famous wizard Harry Potter is back for his second year at Hogwarts, and as expected, it's full of shenanigans. Being the second film in a franchise, you have a lot to live up to. The first film became an instant classic, and it brought the world from the book to life better than just about any movie that came before it. The audience knows what to expect, which is a dangerous place for a filmmaker to be. You don't want to risk sticking to what worked in the first film and make the sequel feel too similar. Think Home Alone and Home Alone 2, which coincidentally were both also directed by Chris Columbus. But you also don't want to make the movie too different, change things up, and alienate the audience that enjoyed the first film. This is especially important when this is a film series when there were still 6 more movies to be made. I think the consensus is that the first 2 Harry Potter films are the worst in the series, if you exclude the Fantastic Beasts spin-off movies. Even if the first 2 are considered the worst, I find them both to be all-time classics full of charm and iconic characters. Luckily for us and director Chris Columbus, J.K. Rowling's source material provided a wonderful blueprint for making another classic movie. Harry, Ron, and Hermione and the rest of the students are all a year older. They no longer look like little kids, but they don't quite look like teenagers yet. They're that awkward age in childhood that no one likes to remember. Now, the first film built the world and introduced us to the characters, and the second film just expands on that. We get more time with Harry's best friend Ron Weasley's family, and we also spend a lot of time with Harry's nemesis Draco Malfoy and his family. We are introduced to a series favorite character, Dobby, a new professor, Gilderoy Lockhart, who maybe is the only wizard in the world more famous than Harry Potter, at least according to himself. We get more backstory on Hagrid. We meet Moaning Myrtle, the ghost in the girls' bathroom, and there are new and returning villains. J.K. Rowling had no shortage of ideas for this sequel. Hogwarts is a huge magical castle full of secrets that some of its tenured professors don't even think that the titular Chamber of Secrets even really exists. The beats of this story are very familiar, but there are so many clever and interesting ideas explored that it truly does still feel original and magical. After this second film, Chris Columbus steps away from the directing chair, and the movies get a bit darker and a bit scarier. But in my opinion, there is nothing in the entire series that is scarier than the section of Chamber of Secrets where Harry and Ron go deep into the forest to meet Aragog, a friend of Gamekeeper Hagrid. This film is quite a bit darker than the original, and it's a bit scarier for really young viewers. However, my 6-year-old absolutely loved it. She felt brave for making it through and hasn't stopped talking about it since. This is a perfect movie to show kids. It's going to fill them with wonder. It's going to make them feel brave. Sparks creativity and is so full of heart and imagination, it is impossible not to like. Hanging out in the girls' bathroom, driving a flying car, flying on broomsticks, being followed by a kid photographer, hanging out with a house elf, wet hallways full of snakeheads,